Eben Pagan. In this training series, we're going to learn how to turn the knowledge we have into information products and advice that we can sell for high prices online. In this session, you're going to have a lot of fun.
Yes, we are going to have a lot of fun, Eben. Thank you. And welcome, everybody. This is Mike Massarge from EW Recreation. EW Rec, sometimes it's called the EW Rec. Eben's got a new product out here. It's pretty interesting, and I'm going to check it out. It's about creating information products. He's, of course, very successful. And about the emotional needs and the information needs and so on and so forth. The video runs about 20 minutes. That's his video. I'm going to try to take short snippets of it and make some comments. There's an exercise at the very end, which I'm going to do, and I'm going to reveal that there. And let's listen in and see a little bit more what he has to say here.
First, we're going to test your emotional intelligence, and then you're going to learn one of the most powerful formulas or blueprints for creating a successful information or knowledge product, like an ebook, a video training program, or membership website. And you're going to get a chance to win one of 4 iPads or even a brand new MacBook Pro with a fancy new Retina display that I'm giving away to people who do the exercise at the end of this video and then post it to their Facebook or Twitter account.
That sounds pretty exciting stuff, man. Giving away all that stuff. I mean, talking about getting emotionally charged up. Yes, Eben really knows how to do these kind of launches here. What I'm gonna do is go to. I gotta try to keep this short for you guys because I'm gonna post a link to the full video. So I'm just gonna try to get some highlights from his video. He has basically an emotional intelligence test. I'm gonna go to that right now. And let me just do it this way. It's about right here. This should be coming up in any second here. And let's hit play.
First, let's test your emotional intelligence.
Okay.
And then we'll learn how to use what you learn in the test to build information products that people already want to buy and that they'll pay high prices for. So here's the emotional intelligence test. Can you remember a time when you really wanted something, and then you got it, and you loved it? Okay? Can you remember a time you really wanted something, you got that thing that you wanted, and you loved it? Next, can you remember a time when you were worried about something? Okay, seriously. And for this exercise, let's choose something that maybe you're only a little bit or a medium amount of worried about. We're not looking for a major fear or a traumatic experience, okay? We're just using a little bit of the emotion to get a feel for how this works. Now, see if you can go back to that time when you had that worry and imagine as if it was right now, okay? See if you can feel into that moment emotionally. And can you feel what it was like to have that worry? What emotion were you feeling when you had that feel? We're just feeling the part that we can remember. Okay, now to wrap up, think about something that you wanted and you got again and how enjoyable it was. And see if you can remember what that emotion felt like. See if you can name that emotion. Okay, was it happiness? Was it joy? Was it glee?
Okay, there you had it. A couple emotional IQ tests or emotional intelligence tests. Just to get us thinking about what the emotion feels like, what it was, and what people worry about. He's going to relate this to how to put this into a product. Okay, let's just go to the next section here, which will be let's just move it.
We're learning that we can practice with them and master our emotions. And I'd like to suggest to you that a better understanding of emotions, yours and the emotions of others, can dramatically increase your sales and your income. So,
okay, kind of wraps it up for the emotional intelligence portions. He's going to go into an example here, or actually, I'm just going to short paraphrase it and cut it down a little bit, and you can watch the full video and on his site and take the exercise yourself and learn how to put the understand the emotional needs versus the informational needs. This is what this is all leading to. So let's go to the next section. He's got a little example here, and let me advance this to give you an idea. Okay, a little further, and play.
For men and women, we've sold about $100 million worth of information products and training on relationship and dating advice. Now, one of the things I learned early on when I was writing dating advice for men, when I was doing it myself, was that men had a lot of fear come up inside of them when they saw an attractive woman that they wanted to talk to. They couldn't figure out what to say. So a man's informational need, okay, is to know what to say. Maybe a good opening question or other approach to start a conversation. But that's just the information. What the guy is really concerned about, secretly, isn't just starting the conversation, it's not getting rejected. Maybe the reason he doesn't walk over and just say hello isn't because he doesn't know what to say. That's just the story. The real underlying reason why is that he's in fear. He's worried about being rejected, being embarrassed, or worse, having this woman that he likes get upset or even offended. So the informational need is the words, but the emotional need is to not get rejected.
Okay, that's very interesting. I like the way he explains this. There's emotional needs and there's informational needs, but the emotions are underneath, possibly underneath the information. So the way he is creating this program, he's going to teach us how to create products understanding the emotion behind the information, so to speak. This is how I understand it. So it's all about the emotional intelligence. So, this is interesting stuff, and we have a quiz coming up, or little homework or worksheet or whatever coming up, and it's going to help us identify these things. Okay, so let's go to this. Okay, he's going to go into how we're going to start asking questions and ask what our customers' emotional wants are and what the information that they need. Let's listen in.
Information that we know that we're going to package up and put in an ebook or an audio course or a training program. The way we want to start is by asking ourselves, what is it that my customer really wants? And what is it that they are worried about? And what's getting them all fired up emotionally? When we start by making a list of their wants and their worries, and then we identify those wants and worries that are the most emotional, and then we list all the information and the techniques that we know to help them get those results and give them the emotions that.
There you have it. That's what we got to do. We're going to make a list of emotional wants and what's like getting them all stirred up, and then what kind of information that we're going to provide them. Very, very, very basic stuff. So we're going to get into the worksheet now. Okay, let's go.
Okay, great. So let's go.
Let's go. Here it is.
This blueprint is about emotional needs and informational needs. When creating your information product, start by identifying wants and worries of your customer. Then, after you've identified these emotional motivators, move over to the informational needs column and list what you'll teach your customer to meet the emotional need. Okay, so emotional needs. What are the wants and worries that your customer has? What are the specific results that they want to get and the specific things that they want to avoid? The things that are most motivating to them emotionally. Try to write down at least 10. Okay, go for at least 10. Challenge yourself. Once you've listed 10 emotional needs, 10 wants and worries, then move over to the informational needs column. What information and advice will help your customer get the want that they have or avoid the worry that they have.
Okay, there you have it. There's a worksheet there printed up. It's emotional needs and information needs worksheet, 2 columns. We're going to list the emotional needs on one column for our customers, and then the informational needs. What kind of information we can provide to relieve that emotional need. Now the emotion is kind of underneath. Alright, got a little interruption there. Back, and we want to do the 2 columns on the worksheet. The one column, of course, is the emotional needs, and the other column is the informational needs. What kind of information we're going to give them? Well, I printed it up, and I made a list of about 10 things. Now, I'm not an information product creator. I never created any information products. This is all new to me, 100% new. So, I'm just going to go with the program and see what this might lead to. Well, here's the list that I come up with: financial matters, fear; family matters, relationship things, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, kids, kind of stuff; freedom. These are emotional things that I'm listing here. Time. People might feel anxiety or time management, stuff like that. People might have emotional needs for clarity, direction, where they want to go. Organizational needs, like, they might be just confused and they might need help, that kind of thing. Of course, there's also success driven people who have an emotional need to be successful, and then a big one, certainly emotionally, is failure. People want to avoid that very, very much. There's a lot of pain with failure, and there's a lot of emotional undertow there. There's probably a lot of information products, which I'll get into in a minute, but there's probably a lot of information products that we can get to the failure side. Then there's technology things, technical help. Maybe people feel emotional, like they're not technically savvy enough, or that kind of thing. And then I come up with fear of being in public, or like getting in front of people, and like maybe just to get in front of people and to voice whatever they need to voice. And then maybe better at some sport or hobby. Now, that's my list. Okay, we're going to make a list of about 10 things. I narrowed it down to about 3 that I want to concentrate on, but those are like the 10 things that I came up with. Of course, I never made an emotional product, and I don't really even know who my customers would be, but these are some emotional triggers that I felt that I could probably go ahead and create a product around. And out of that list that I just read, I came up with 3 of my favorites, or probably the strongest ones that would interest me. And that would be financial matters, and fear. And these are I'll list the 3 emotional needs first: the financial matters, failure. People are afraid of pain, and then the other one is feel incapable of technology. Maybe people just feel inadequate with computers and stuff like that. Okay, so number 1 is the financial matters, fear. These are the informational things that I thought that I could come up and help people with the financial matter fear. I would provide information about how to maybe lower their mortgage, maybe information on saving money every day, maybe how to ask their boss for a raise, or maybe how to start a business, this kind of thing for financial fear. Maybe they want to start a business, I don't know. Next thing I have is failure as an emotional need for people, because people have a lot of emotional pain over that kind of stuff, and they try to avoid it. So what kind of information can I give them? Information I can give them is maybe how to implement personal development, maybe get them started on a personal development plan, Maybe I could build their dreams a little bit. Maybe we could paint some pictures for them and let them know what they, are could do, because they're in a lot of pain, a failure. Maybe we can give them a to-do list, maybe a business plan, or um, lay out like some instructions of steps that they can take. Okay, and then the last thing for the emotional needs is the feel of incapable of technology. A lot of people are afraid that they don't think they can do certain things. I mean, they might have limited um, computer skills or internet skills or what have you, but things that you could do for those kind of people would be, create videos and guides how to do things, very simple stuff. Simplify how to absorb things. A lot of information with technology, technology just kind of blurs all together. So let's get them some simplified information. Let's also, with these same people, let's focus on a single task. Let's not try to, since technology is so vast and broad, let's just try to focus on a single task. And let's try to give them people some time management. Maybe they don't have to learn everything one day. Maybe they can learn a little bit at a time, so to break it down to steps. So that was my worksheet I created for this exercise, and let's see if Eben has anything else to say.
What we're going to do is we're going to match them up. We're going to look over at the emotional need, and then we're going to write down the information that we're going to give them to solve their emotional need. Good. Write down one informational need, right? One piece of information that you're going to give, at least for every.
Okay. That's basically the exercise. Print it up, and I'm just going to conclude this video. It's ran just about as long as Eben's did because of my insertions, but I would definitely recommend, I will post a link to the video and listen to the whole thing. He has a lot of good information there, and take the exercise and have fun with it. Let's go. Thank you for listening, and this is all new to me. Take care. Bye.